What is going on, everybody? Another episode of the Mindful Microdose episode. And I have a special guest. I have not actually one guest, but two guests. I have Samantha Housden. She is what you call the mother of TikTok.
Mom of TikTok, yes.
Mom of TikTok, thank you for that. And she not only is a big time influencer, but she is someone who's really trying to make an impact with families, individuals, and other people. I love her platform. We found her, we reached out to her. We obviously get great guests because of the momentum and all the content and the stuff that we do, but we reached out to her and we had to talk to her because when you think of TikTok and you think of influencers and you think of this whole thing, for many there's a stereotype, for many there's a certain type of content, and what she's doing with TikTok. And by the way, I'm not the only one who thinks this. She has 2.6 plus million people who agree with me. What she's doing is the right stuff. And so one of the things we're going to be doing with our shows, we're going to be bringing in guest co-hosts so that we can empower our team, so we can have more diversity in our conversations. And so one of our content strategists, Piper Randall, is going to join in a minute, and she's going to have a conversation with Samantha, and they're just going to jam, and they're going to talk all things TikTok, all things mental wellness. This is a conversation that is one for the books. I don't think there's ever been a conversation like this on any streaming platform, any podcast. I'm telling you, whether you're seeing this live or whether you're going to see this pre-recorded, because as you know, we do syndicate this on my own 88.9 FM radio show, and this will be on several channels. This is going to be a great conversation. So thank you for doing this, Samantha, and I can't wait to see how it goes. Stay tuned one sec, everyone. I'm going to bring in Piper, and we'll get back in a minute. Thanks.
Thanks.
Hi, so great to meet you.
Hi, Piper.
I'm Piper. Your name's Samantha, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So first off, I am a huge fan of your platform. I was one of your followers, and when Ash had asked me to reach out to a bunch of people, you were definitely one of the people I wanted to reach out to. So it's a really big honor to talk to you.
Thank you.
So I guess just to get started, I wanted to talk about how you got started on TikTok and what kind of made you want to get on the platform itself.
Honestly, I was sitting here in the middle of nowhere, a divorced mom who hadn't worked for years. I was on 7 meds because I still hadn't figured out how to regulate my emotions or my sleep patterns. And I didn't feel like I was making a difference in the world. And I kind of looked at myself and I went, what can I do? What value added do I have to the world? And I'm a genius ACT tutor, which no one really knows. So I thought, if I'm going to make myself feel better, if I'm going to find my way out of this kind of darkness, the key is to bless others, right? To bring your voice, to somehow value add to others' lives. And so I got on TikTok literally and just started giving ACT advice. And that's what happened.
That's kind of awesome. Yeah, ACT advice is honestly amazing. So then I guess when you started on the platform and you started giving all that advice, what was the one video, or if you can remember, that just kind of you took off from there?
I totally have it. So I was on the platform for about 2 months giving advice, and no one was listening to me about ACT tips, right? And I had, I think, 8 followers for 2 months. And my daughter came home and said, Mom, the kids at school found your TikTok. And at the time, Hot Mom Check was trending on TikTok. And I was like, oh, baby, why don't you do a Hot Mom Check on me? And she said, Mom, you're not hot. And I said, oh, sweetheart. So what happened was I did this video where I taped up my face and I talked about inner beauty being the most important thing. And it didn't matter what you looked like. And I had this horrible time ripping it off my face. And I said, would you like me to be your mama? 65,000 followers overnight.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yep, that's what happened. And I never looked back. And I finally realized my calling is evidently to be a mama to people who need one, I guess, or, need some kind of reassurance that they're okay.
Yeah, I definitely have seen when you will duet people with households that are not, perfect or, very far from what a household should be like for a child growing up. So with that, when you started making duets and giving advice for, children in those kinds of households, what has stemmed off from that? Has it given you inspiration for anything?
Well, you know, the duets kind of came after I started building my platform a little more. And so last fall, I started talking about kind of toxic parenting, which I thought was micromanaging kids, like checking their grades all the time, or even constantly checking them on Life 360. So I started this Ban Life 360 campaign, and I had another influencer, Trinity, from Florida. She's like this 16-year-old who is in college, and she reached out to me and started encouraging me to continue to do what I was doing. And so what happened was then it got to a point where kids just started tagging me in everything. Every video they saw where a parent was mistreating a child, they would tag me and send it to me and say, hey, you need to take a look at this. And that's how I got a lot of my content for a while, after I blew up enough to prove to kids that I was on their side. Okay. So those duets really came as a call from, you know, my followers to, hey, we want your response to this. We want to know what you think about what's going on here. And so that, through like some encouragement of some, you know, other influencers, and then the encouragement of followers, then I finally hit 1 million, I think in February, finally hit 1 million followers. But it was a little kind of slow, you know, but again, that's what I do then is, and sometimes I just throw in a little comedy because my page starts to get a little down for me, because I'm like, whoa, okay, I got to do something funny here and to lighten my own page up. So that's what I do.
That's really smart. I like the balance between, you know, like what needs to be serious and then, you know, bringing a lighthearted kind of thing. Because it does seem like people go to your page for comfort and for, you know, advice and just like a way to escape almost. Because I know at least I have done that sometimes, even if it's not even with a household thing and I'm just feeling down. I like watching videos like that. So for like your inspiration now on like content and stuff like that, what kind of things do you want to create that you haven't yet, or, you know, or maybe like in the process of pushing out?
Well, I think what I have learned is that people come to TikTok to feel normal, to feel like someone, they want to feel validated. They want to feel like they're not alone in the world. And TikTok for me has given me an opportunity. I mean, I have a farm, right? I grew up 3 miles from nowhere. And so I've kind of felt a little bit alone in a lot of the things in my life, right? So in telling my story, people from all over the world have reached out and said, you know, the details change, but the stories don't change. I'm hurt, or I'm lonely, or is it okay to feel this way? And so, you know, I think people come to me, and TikTok wants to pinhole you. They want you to do the exact same content all the time. And I'm just too diverse. Like, as human beings, I don't want to just sprinkle sprinkles on a phone all day long, right? I want to share my life with people. And if you're value added to people, they will come. If you are value added and you make them feel validated and you're vulnerable yourself, that's what I want to continue to share. My life journey as I grow and change, you know, then other people, it's okay to grow and change. And I guess I'm just sharing my life with people and sharing positive ways to parent kids, because I wasn't parented positively, and it had a lasting effect on me.
Yeah, I guess now, like with all of that you've said and how people do go to TikTok for being validated and stuff, I've definitely seen that. I want to ask you more about like your journey with mental wellness and stuff like that, and like how maybe TikTok has helped you with that, or if you found other ways of, you know, bettering your mental health.
You know, like I said, when I got on TikTok, I was at a point where, you know, I'd struggled for years trying to find, because I'd been divorced about 4 years by then. I had buried both my parents, and I didn't know where I fit into the world. And I had weaned myself off of all medications, and I just was like, I've got to find. So I started walking, and, you know, I started, I guess, really kind of trying to find out what made me feel well. Getting my hands in the earth again and gardening again, and reaching back to even the example of my grandmother, you know, who was born in 1900, and how she survived being a single mom in the Depression with 2 little girls to raise. And what she did was, she taught me, Samantha, it's not so much what comes in the front door, it's what goes out the back door. In other words, take care of what you get. And so that, so I just kind of looked to my dad, especially, and even though he was gone, just the little gems of wisdom that he gave me. And I would just walk. I literally walked for hours and hours a day. And, then TikTok really just gave me a voice, a 50-year-old in the middle of nowhere and I know I say that all the time, but I don't have access to what other people do. I don't have access to a lot of things. And though I've traveled quite a bit for a Nebraskan, it just gave me an opportunity to connect with people because I kind of feel like a fish out of water living here. I mean, not many people, first of all, have blue hair at my age, but really it's almost, I don't know, it's just kind of a different feeling here. And so I found my people, I found my tribe in TikTok, in adults, in kids who just were all on this journey, to be the best humans we can be. And that's what I love about the people that are surrounding me on TikTok.
That's a really great answer. Honestly, yeah, I love the sense of community that you mentioned about TikTok and all that kind of stuff. People have definitely found that kind of thing, and I loved the walking that you used when you were, you would just walk, just to, was it like to clear your head, just to just organize your thoughts and stuff like that?
Honestly, I'm a little bit OCD. So I would count my steps and I'd say, you can go another 1,000, you can go another 1,000. I'd keep track of the thousands of steps on my fingers. I'd do the hundreds first and then the thousands. And, so I could walk 25,000, 30,000 steps. And it was almost like this cleansing. It was like I needed to, and what I would do literally is I would walk as far as I could until I got tired. And then I would be like 6 miles from home. Well, now you got to turn around and go back. And so, and it kind of just encouraged me to, and it was like the journey out sort of like wrestled all that out. And then the journey back, and there was this spot on this bridge that I would always cross. And it was about a mile from home. And I knew when I got to that, and it's probably 50 feet long, but when I got to that bridge, I would open my arms wide and just suck in the beauty that was this ravine and take a huge deep breath and be like, you know what? This is living right here. This is living. And just relish that 50 yard or 50 feet, whatever journey across this ravine and be like, this is living right here. And then finish my walk home. And there was something so restorative about that I don't know. It just sort of, it grounded me, brought me into nature. Because they say one of the best things you can do for mental health is get into nature. That's it, Get into nature and help other people. Is there a better formula to heal than spend time in nature and help other people? I don't think that there's anything more important than that.
I mean, those 2 steps definitely are the best ways that I have seen and have done myself, and clearly seen from you and your page. It's a beautiful kind of thing to do. So for moving on, and for people who are watching this and who look up to you, is there any advice that you would give them in regards to mental health, or if they, maybe want to start a platform so that way they can reach out and help people too? Is there any advice you would give them?
In terms of the platform itself, so when I started this Van Life 360 thing, I really had no idea what I was doing, right? And then the CEO reached out to me. And though we were on like separate sides kind of the story, right? I was on this Van Life 360 thing and he's the CEO. What we realized was we had similar intentions, which was safety, security, taking care of kids. And so he taught me a lot about looking at people's intentions, because sometimes on social media, we don't get what people's intentions behind posts are. And I would say that was my biggest learning experience on the app, because once he communicated with me, I kind of thought, wow, people are starting to listen to me. Maybe I don't have to yell quite so loudly. Maybe I can kind of step back a little bit and be a little more loving and a little more caring instead of like, don't do this, But, it's in terms of someone influencing, and I don't like really to use the word influencer because I feel like we're as much influenced as, we are influencers, how have I impacted your life? How have I, made you want to live a better life? But it's this. I would say be value added, number one, because if you're value added to somebody's life, they're going to listen to you. If you don't bring value to somebody's life, they're going to listen. And then for me, I have 2 quotes that have resonated with me since I was 15, 20 years old. And I live by these quotes. So if you're value added and you find a quote that you can live by, that you go back to every time you make a decision, the first one is George Eliot, and it is, what do we live for, if not to make life less difficult for one another? And that is like a huge live by. And the other one is Candide in Voltaire says, we must cultivate our gardens, right? I think it was Candide. Anyway, Voltaire in the book Candide said that. No, it was Pangloss. It was his mentor, Pangloss, said that. We must cultivate our garden. And what that means is the garden that I have to take care of it, and I have to nourish it, and I have to love it, and it will blossom. But if I'm looking at somebody else's garden, if I'm comparing myself to other people, if I'm not taking care of this right here, I'm not going to have a harvest. And you can make a garden work wherever you are in the United States. But that's the power of social media. What it has done now is my little garden, now that I've cultivated it, I'm able to share that with other people that I never could have done before. And people talk about social media, all the negative effects of social media. Yes, I have found that it is difficult at times, but above all, it's just this sense of community and being able to share a message with people and meet people you never would have been able to meet before.
It's definitely one of those, I'm in love with social media. It's how I stay connected to friends and family and, just people all around.
Especially now, right?
Exactly, yeah. Especially now when it is quarantine and we're in unknowing times on what could happen next. It's beautiful to have something like that everyone can, reach out to and communicate with each other and just feel more connected. So I guess just to wrap everything up, is there anything that you want to, say, any last words or anything that you just want to get out there before we finish?
I have these little coins that have my username on it, and the other side says it costs $0 to be kind. And sometimes I give those out to people. And I just believe that as a society, we are ripe for change. Because, it's like this pendulum swing. We've been over here living like this. And with all the riots and everything, people have been pushed. The pendulum is swinging the other way. And I think we're ripe in this country for change and for better models of how to parent, how to live healthy lifestyles, how to eat healthier, how to just share our bounty with each other. Because we're all in this collective mourning in the country right now about all this loss of friendships and kind of society's we don't know what's going to happen. And so if we could just instead stop fighting with each other, find our common ground, and be kind to one another, we'll make it. It's a collective pain right now. And so, I guess for me, that's when I go live or when I show kids how to do a craft or whatever, my goal is, how can I share what I'm doing to somehow make what you're doing less painful?
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better myself.
Oh, you're too sweet.
No, you did an amazing job. And it was really, really nice talking to you and getting to hear your whole take on mental wellness and TikTok and all of those amazing things.
Yeah, and like I said, sometimes it took me a long time to figure out my path and a long time to figure out my wellness path. But I want everybody to know you can do it. I don't care where you are in life. I don't care how buried you feel. You may have been planted, so it's time to grow.
Yeah, there really is. And there's change everywhere and everyone can grow and everyone can change. And we all need to do it for the better and for kindness, just to help everyone else. So,
so much for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and, just spread everything around. It was really, really nice having you on the show. And I look forward to seeing what you do in the future.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. All right, so I guess that's the end of the show, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you all enjoyed this time. Remember, this stuff is going to be on our other platforms. If you did miss it and want to watch it again, you can go check out our Instagram or our YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks.